Ready week 1. We know that, looking back. And week 2, I thought we knew we had to clean a lot up to go beat a good Rock Hill team on the road, and our guys came out ready to play. And I'm not saying we overlooked East Carter, because we definitely know East Carter. I thought all week that's a big win if you ever get a chance, and we didn't get that. But they're going to come ready to play, and I'm not saying we overlooked them, but we just didn't get the job done. And it can't happen again like that, especially just on teams that – those are a toss-up game on the schedule. It's a game that, scheduling it, anybody can win. That's how every game on the schedule is that way anyway, but it's a game that you got to fight and get a chance to go win. And I think we came out there and was excited, and we're like, all right, we can't wait to be 3-0. We got to find a way to, what's going to happen. We know we're good enough. And I like our kids didn't panic. We said we'll be fine. Jace can attest to that. Our guys knew we had the ability to come back and win, but we just have to make sure that we start with the intentions of we're going to win and we're going to find a way to win, but we're not going to let anybody deny us that opportunity, because nothing is entitled for us to get that opportunity. That win is not guaranteed. Nothing is guaranteed. We have to go take what we want in life. I said before, we make our own luck, and we definitely didn't make our own luck. We made our bad luck for sure on last Friday night.
And you spoke there too of the weather delay, and how hard is that on a team? Now both teams got to deal with it, but what does that do to a team, especially when you get ready to play, you get stopped, and then you're getting ready again, the lightning comes again, you get stopped again, and then you finally get a play about after an hour?
I mean, like you said, both teams have to deal with it. It was a lot shorter delay than it was last year.
Oh, yeah.
And I thought our kids responded really well to that last year. And really, in all reality, we couldn't have asked for a better time for a weather delay, the way we were playing. We had kind of got it back to where it was 15-7 there. We were definitely in the game to go back and have a chance, but we needed to clean up a lot of things that we had dealt with, and Coach Champlin and then the Raiders came out ready to go and did what they needed to do. And coming out, I felt like we were excited to go, and but they had an 8-minute and 50-second drive.
Right
after that, there was 9:12 on the clock, and we didn't get the ball back until 22 seconds left on the clock. And we talked about
and a nice drive after that.
Yeah, we almost got down in the opportunity to score up before the half and just didn't get the job. 22 seconds to march the field. I was really proud of our guys to execute there, but it'd been cool to have a minute.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And it just makes it tough. There was an argument I was thinking about trying to get that extra time out right there into it just was, hindsight 20/20 on how you handle that before the half. Simply put, we had to find a way to get the field on third down, and it's definitely not a cloud of dust these days. It's a cloud of turf pellets, but they were really good at just getting 3 yards and falling forward. And we talked about that. Yoke, their running back, did a great job falling forward. 23 Beeson did a great job, and their quarterback made some very timely sprint outs and just ran the ball and got a first down. So hats off to what East did. They kind of capitalized on – they out-leveraged us a little bit, and we always talk about being gap sound. We kind of got to where we weren't very good at being gap sound. We kind of played a little passive, I feel like, and we didn't go and attack the holes where we needed to. And we got to do a better job of coaching that up, and that's on me to make sure we get it all figured out this week. And we can't have that happen again. Right. And, I feel like it was almost – it wasn't a carbon copy, but it was so eerily similar to how I feel after 23 when we played them. They controlled the clock that game, same way. We talk about limited possessions. This game, because of the last rain, we had 2 possessions and 1 play in the second half.
Right.
And it's really hard to imagine. They squeezed the life out of the ball, and I felt like we could score at any time if we didn't do something to hurt ourselves, and we just didn't get the job done.
And speaking of that, the good thing about our offense is big playability. So you got the chance to score in bunches at any time.
Yeah, I feel like we can score, and that's not trying to say that obviously today I just told you it was a bad Tuesday. We came in and we didn't get the job done today in practice, and I hope that does not foretell what's going to happen Friday night. I don't think it will, because I think we'll have a great Wednesday, have a good plan for that tomorrow. But we have to make sure that we do what we need to do. And coaches say, I say that a lot. But we just have to do your job. You don't have to do anybody else's, but you have to realize that every job on the team as a player and as a coach, everybody has to make sure we're locked into, your position as a coach and your position as a player. We have to make sure those guys are getting the job done at 100%. And, we have to be locked in that every assignment, every play, every fill, every fake, every route on the backside. Some coaches use the game. You look at those backs that are out. Sometimes guys, you can see them jogging sometimes, and he's never going to get the ball here. And I heard the best quote was from Peyton Manning, and I love watching the Manning cast on Monday nights. If I get a chance after I get home from a JV game, it was kind of late. I think I got it midway through the third last night, but those routes are for the love of the game routes.
Right.
And when you run that route, a lot of times you might not get the ball, but you run it for the love of the game because your team needs you and it needs to get done. And whenever we're all playing for the love of the game, we're a pretty successful football team. And I'm not saying our kids were lazy. I'm not saying that happened Friday night, but just that purpose of every play is 100%. Because there's guys that say they want to play more, and let's go take the job and get the job done. Right. And everybody has got to give it 100%. And we got guys that can rotate. We don't have to sit there and wear people out until they're gassed and cramping. And we got to make sure everybody's contributing. We have a big football team. But our football team has to be just that, a team, and we have to take every role and responsibility and do it to the best of our abilities, and that's from the coach down, from me down. So we got to make sure we do a better job this week.
Well, and Friday had to be a good attention getter for the kids. It kind of gets them refocused, and the silver lining of it is you're not in the district play yet.
No, and winning the district is your first ultimate goal you can have in the season, and a lot of teams in our district, lost Friday night. So it doesn't mean that they're not quality. I mean, there's going to be there's an opportunity for us to go make some noise, but we have to get better each and every week. And while we didn't play like we got better last week, there's a lot of things that can get better from last week.
Right.
And we talk about that on Monday on film, on a couple of the assignments that we didn't do a very good job of. And it's just there's so many little things in the game of football. Every sport has those, nuances that kind of make a difference, but there's so many. There's 11 people that have to do their job right on every play, and you also have to win your battle because there's also 11 guys on the other side that's making sure you don't do your job right.
Right.
And it's why the game's beautiful, and it's why we love it, and it's why we love to coach and play the game. But we got to make sure that we come out and get our job done this week and kind of shore a lot of things up. We got to get our timing a lot better. We got to make sure we're continuing to, on offense, we got to make sure we time this loss. We got to get a little bit more diverse. We had the opportunity to kind of stay in a set. They were giving us a lot of opportunities last week just to stay where we were at in our 20 personnel set. And we just able to kind of run our power, and we're in a couple pass plays to keep them honest, and we were able to march down the field. But we got to make sure to be more explosive to kind of do some different things. And we had a lot of ability to do some explosive things, but we also got to take what the defense is giving us. And I thought we did a good job of that actually on Friday night. Defensively, we talked about some different things. We got to get some more guys continue. We talked about it all week, about more guys. I mean, every week I've talked to you, more guys rotating on the defensive line, staying fresh. There's no excuse anybody ever goes backwards in that position. Our linebackers are playing forward then, and the secondary is filling it behind. This Mason County team we're getting into this week, they look a lot like Mason County. If I told you that earlier today. And they're still going to be explosive. They still have athletes all played, but they seem very physical this year. They get under center. They run a lot of strong and weak eye, and they're going to come downhill at you from what we've seen. And they have some guys back there that run really hard. And we better. I have it. I can talk to you right now. You can see I'm getting fired up. I have a chip on my shoulder about stopping the run this week, about doing our job. Well, we got to make sure we go as a team and do that this week.
Yeah, and you talk about running the football. Mason County does. They're a run-first team, just like East Carter was. And last week we had a lot of arm tackling going on.
And we just can't. I think we also have to do our job. The arm tackling, we can look at that as poor tackling, but we can also look at that as poor execution before that. Mm-hmm. And it was good alignment by East, good play design, good all that. Hats off to them on what they did to us. Hats off to them first. But this is the Boyd County show. It's not, so we're going to talk about what we need to do better. And simply put, we have to make sure those gaps. I mean, those arm tackles could be because the gap is larger than it should be, and we're having to try to fit a hole that is larger than it should because we didn't squeeze it down and do our job how we need to. And that's what we got to make sure. I talked to our guys on Monday, and I was able to do a lot of the film just with them, just me and them, and I talked about some of those issues that we had, and we had to clear up a lot of things there. And I think that like I said, we have a great staff. We talked about them last week, and I'm so thankful.
Great bunch of
guys.
guys.
But when the loss is on it, I tell everybody, put it on me. We'll get it better. It's not the kids' fault. It's not anybody else's fault. It's my fault. We'll get the job done, but we'll do it together. And I think the guy across from me I'm looking at, he's ready to go get the job done. Everybody else is too, but we have to squeeze some things down. I think we have tackled really well for the first 2 weeks, and this week is when you're playing a team that's really a technique sound football team that's going to gap you down, and they do a good job of just running where your gaps are, and they created some openings, and we tried to kind of be aggressive. It was kind of aggressive, I think, of some of our kids trying to go around and try to make too many plays whenever we had to just fit and squeeze and play good technique there, and our technique just needs to improve, and we'll definitely hit that a lot on NDD tomorrow.
And let's go ahead, step out, take our first break here on the Boyd County Coaches Show. When we come back, we'll talk to Boyd County quarterback Jace Manning. Back after this on 105.7 FM WLGC.
Members Choice Credit Union, member NCUA.
Primary Plus is your home for quality, advanced, affordable health care, offering family health, OBGYN, counseling, dental, diabetes management, patient-centered medical homes, school-based health services, and a pharmacy. Primary Plus also offers the COVID-19 vaccine. Primary Plus with locations in Ashland, Vanceburg, South Shore, Grayson, Tollsboro, Maysville, Flemingsburg, and now in Moorhead. Online, primaryplus.net. For quality, advanced, affordable health care, come to Primary Plus. Again, online, primaryplus.net.
No down payment? No problem. Here at KFB, we make homeownership easy with our no down payment home loans. Whether you're buying your first home or ready for something new, KFB is here to guide you every step of the way. Apply today and take the first step towards your dream home with no money down. Restrictions apply. Not all applicants will qualify. KFB, the better bank. Located at Ashland, Catlettsburg, Louisa, Summit, and Wheelersburg. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
At Clark's Pump & Shop, we're not just a gas station. We're your neighbors.
We're the folks who support your child's sports teams, fuel your mornings with fresh ground coffee, and have a friendly staff that probably knows the name of your dog.
Clark's Pump & Shop. Return, refresh, refuel.
Tired of gas prices draining your wallet faster than your tank?
Download the Clark's Pump & Shop Rewards app. Earn discounts on gas, breakfast sandwiches, drinks, and more.
Fuel up, snack up, save up with Clark's Rewards. Clark's Pump & Shop. Return, refresh, refuel.
You're back with all the action, all the pride. Boyd County Lions football on 105.7 WLGC.
And welcome back to the Boyd County Coaches Show. Greg Preston along with Boyd County head coach Evan Ferguson, and now joining us is Boyd County quarterback Jace Manning. First of all, Jace, welcome to the show.
Thank you. I'm ready to be here.
Okay. Some questions that I've had written down for you. You're a quarterback on a new team this year, right? So how has the transition been for you from transferring from a small school to a larger school?
Oh, yeah. Me and Ferg have talked about it. Even on the way here, it's a really different from going to single A to what is it, 4A? Yeah. There's a lot more kids. There's a lot better competition, and I think I just have to play my game, and I'm going to be the same player I've been.
Right, and that's you had some good numbers last year, especially you take a look at a Morgan County game. You had a real game in that, but what has been the biggest change for you from coming from Fairview to Boyd County?
The biggest change, definitely the coaching and just how I'm expected to be perfect, and I expect myself to be perfect, and I am coming from Fairview, and I think I have a lot of guys at Boyd County that care about me, and I have a lot of chemistry already with these guys.
Right. Now let me ask you this too: what are your goals for this season as far as the team goes?
My first goal for the season is to get a district championship, and I don't remember the last time that Fairview's done that, but I know Boyd County's looking for one, and I'm ready to help to get to that.
Right, and you take a look at it. What are some things that you have to do personally for this team to be successful? You're the guy on offense.
Oh yeah, I think to criticize myself, I think I need to be a better leader. I think I need to lead everybody, especially being the quarterback. We have seniors like Caleb Kelly. They're great leaders, and I think as a junior myself as a quarterback, I think I need to lead the younger guys and even the older guys to get us some wins and to just be successful overall.
Now, you've been here a short time now. How much comfortable are you feeling in the offensive scheme that Coach Ferg has?
Yeah, I'm still learning a lot of new things. Ferg's helping me a lot on that, and even the older guys are helping me a lot on that. And I think I'm learning it pretty well, and I think we're going to execute it pretty well.
Okay. Now, are you a big film guy?
Big film guy?
Yep.
Yeah, me and my classmates watch film during class all the time.
So
yeah.
Now, with the film that you watch, what are you looking for in your opponent to try to be able to dissect?
I'm mostly looking at the secondary, just trying to look at how far they're going to play off, what their safeties are doing, and how we're going to pick them apart.
Mm-hmm. Now, how much film do you probably watch in a week?
Probably.
Because, you've been throwing the ball well, and it seems like you know what the defense is going to be doing.
How much film do I watch in a week?
Yeah.
I'd say
quite a bit.
Yeah, probably like 2 hours.
Okay. All right. And let's talk a little bit about practice today. How did practice go?
Yeah, Berg can attest to this, but practice was a little stumbly today, and I think we're going to get back to it Wednesday, and I think we're going to be all right.
And that's good for you.
Yeah.
Sometimes for that to happen. Now, you come out here and you're with these guys. These guys seem to be taking you in too. What's been your most enjoyable moment so far in your short time out here?
I think just how quick the connection was with these guys that I've never been with in my life. Just the chemistry and how I can get along with these guys, it was just kind of crazy to me.
Okay. Jace, appreciate your time. Coach, going to bring you back in for just a minute here. Just a little bit more about that East Carter game. You have a block punt there too. Special teams comes through. But it seemed like we were playing behind the chains a lot.
Yeah, if you actually look at the game, and if someone had said, "Hey, coach, you're going to block their punt and you're going to pick off a pass in the first quarter of the game," I would have definitely. Well, that's the second quarter, pick off the pass, the interception. But I would have been shocked to tell you that we've been losing, right? And we had a bad first play of the game, and going forward, we did talk about we got behind the chains a little bit, had a couple holds that just untimely that was. We were behind. It makes it hard, plain and simple. It makes it hard, and I think East did a good job of, kind of taking away some of the gifts, we call it, the quick, easy games, plays on first down, and we had to we adjusted that after about the second drive and did a pretty good job from that point forward. But we have to make sure. We always say we have to run the football better, and you can look at the film, and our box was very conducive for us to run the football, and we actually it was the second drive of the game. We ran power to the right and had about an 8-yard gain, which, I'd be very happy on our second drive. Okay, we're fine. It's going to be 2nd and 2. And it ended up being 1st and 20 again. And then we had a drop or a incompletion, got to 2nd and 20. And then we had, a third down, got to be, 3rd and 12. Whenever you're getting back there on 3rd and 15s and stuff, it just makes it hard to score. Now, at the same time, we've had the opportunities, just like we had at Rock Hill. We went 3rd and 10 on the first drive of the game and hit a big touchdown to Crawford across the middle. And we can still make plays happen. But once you get kind of over that 15-yard mark, being off schedule definitely hurts. But really outside of it was just the first 2 drives. I think the guys in the box said it's really annoying calling plays from 2nd and 3rd and 20, and we had that for the on the second drive of the game and on the 4th drive of the game. And those are just moments that we can't get back. And, that was the one was after a interception. We had incompletion, then a hold, then it just kind of set us behind the chains, and it's in a sack, and it's hard. But we have to stay on schedule. We talk about that a lot, and usually we do a good job of that. And I felt like after that, we definitely fixed that after the rain delay, without a doubt. We never had that issue. We just had a couple issues. We got to go back, and it was great getting to watch some film during the rain delay and get things figured out. And we have to be ready to play 4 quarters against good football teams, and we can't keep spotting people like we've done that week 1, week 3. We've kind of put ourselves behind the 8 ball, and we've came out of week 1 and Actually, I think we keep playing that game. I like our chances to keep playing that game. Maybe not in the monsoon that happened at the end of it, but I would like to keep playing. Just the competitor in me wants to keep going.
Sure. And going back to that hurry up offense you had there at the end of the half. I tell you what, he made some great throws on the sideline to really move us down the field.
Yeah, he did a great job throwing the ball. We had some good catches, and I was glad our receivers, understood the assignment to get out fast, and we did a good job in our red alert there. And that was really close to, getting points. I mean, even 3 there would have been huge, and
yes.
we were about 8 yards from having a chance there at that. And just ran out of time, playing simple. But, we talk about, plays of the game that, we had a block punt, great opportunity. Then the 4th and 1, I'm a firm believer, and there might be a game where I decide not to, but I haven't found it yet. Whenever we're, whether it's goal to goal, 1 to go, I've always said, if you're going to get the yard, you deserve to win. If you don't get it, you don't deserve to win. Mm-hmm. And I hate that it happened and ended up costing, it was a big part of the game. We didn't, and they also turned around through a 97-yard pass right after that. But it's those opportunities that we have to make sure we capitalize on. And we don't have to do anything crazy, just to make sure we all, we got to gap stuff down and nobody can ever leak. And even if you get a little bit, we have some running backs, I feel like they can get in those scenarios. And we've been, that's the first time we haven't got that all year. And I think that's an opportunity. We definitely went over that a few times after that moment to hopefully get that settled.
And, I'll tell you what, on that 3rd down before that 4th down and goal, Cam May awfully close to getting into the end zone there. The pylon went flying, but obviously they got a better view of it than me. And, that's just one where you still got to go ahead and play.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we can argue. I mean, there's some – but, I mean, it doesn't – to me, I still believe if there's a yard to go, the team that deserves to win will get it every time. And we got to make sure we get those yards.
Yes.
Those inches matter.
And offensively, too, after week 1, Caleb Kelly had a great, great week. And then, he has a great week on week 2. They start clamping down on him. And, you've got Cam May now starting to step up and get a lot of receiving yards. And, Thomas Crawford, I think he's got 4 catches on the year, but 2 of them for touchdowns. So you got a lot of guys you can go to.
Yeah, and we've said this before. There's a couple more that we probably need to start getting some looks to that are, kind of flying under the radar. Like I said, that we had to just kind of stay with – whenever we were behind schedule so much in that first half, we kind of found a set that we could just chunk away at, and there was really no reason to change. And that's kind of what we did the whole, from the second quarter on. But looking at that, I'm excited to see, Caleb, you expected him to have a big year. I did. He's coming in, returning junior, been there for 2 years, returning senior, the 30-year starting for us, has done a lot of great things for us, and you never, ever will question that kid's heart and desire, and has been everything I've ever expected him to be, and probably more so far this year. And it's really exciting to see a kid like Cam May that's as a sophomore coming out and just continuing to grow. And I think his confidence should be increasing each and every week. He's starting to play better on both sides of the football. And a lot of times, you start catching some balls that way. You might start catching them on the other side too. And, he does a good job at corner. He's been right there, and he'll start making all those plays as well. I feel like I have a lot of faith in him. And Connor Davis is a kid there at corner that stepped up and made a big pick for us finally the other night. And, he had one that he let go on, week 2 against Rock Hill, and he finally got one week 3. So excited to see what he can do week 4 and on. So.
Right. And, from the defensive side of the ball, I mean, Brody Castle just continues to impress.
Yeah, so far most of our guys that you've expected to be the guys we need, and step up have done that. And Brody has done an outstanding job. We don't want to just preach and talk about stats and records, but whenever you have a chance to, this will be the 3rd year in a row if he can do it, of breaking and setting the school record in tackles, and he's on a great start to do it. I think he has 48 already after 3 weeks, and I think he needed right around 100 to get that. So
he's on his way
kid
there.
Who's been as much adversity with those knee injuries as he has, I'd love to see him get that. But he's playing and leading and really trying to motivate the guys around him. He's been pretty positive with people, and he was calling out a lot of what was going on Friday night, like and let's go stop them running their ISO here that they got tossed, and we just got to get the job done of actually stopping it this week.
And you have to be pleased too with Caden Nottingham. I mean, he's just come in and he's made your team a lot better on the defensive side of the ball.
His energy's really unmatched. I mean, he has great pursuit and is learning more and more about different things he needs to do each week. So, but his energy, we kind of nicknamed him Bob there because we have so many Cadens on our team. That kind of goes back to middle school. But Nineham's done a great job for us and makes a lot of tackles and definitely has a motor for us.
Let's go ahead, step out, take another break. When we come back, we'll start talking a little bit about Mason County. Back after this on the Boyd County Coaches Show on 105.7 FM WLGC.
Temperatures are on the rise, and so is the bite, and Border Sporting Goods is your fishing headquarters for rods and reels from G. Loomis, St. Croix, Fenwick, Lewes, Shimano, Daiwa, and Abu Garcia. No matter what species of fish you are targeting, Borders has the perfect setup to make your next trip on the water a success. Borders has baits in every size and style with a wide selection of tackle from Berkeley, Strike King, Zoom, Z-Man, Bandit, and many more. Before hitting the water for your next fishing trip, stop by and stock up at Border Sporting Goods, US 60 West in Ashland.
If you can picture yourself in a better job and a better life, there are thousands of openings in Kentucky right now. And with the Work Ready Kentucky Scholarship, you can prepare for many of them tuition-free. Good at Ashland Community and Technical College. This scholarship offers 100% free tuition for classes that can prepare you for a great job in healthcare, advanced manufacturing, and more in as little as 13 weeks. Get started today at WorkReadyKentucky.com.
Hi, I'm Kevin Anderson with First National Bank in Moorhead. From home, auto, and construction financing to refinancing options, we've got the tools to help move you forward. We also offer checking, savings, and full business banking solutions built to support you and your goals. Stop in to see us and let's talk about how we can help you. First National Bank, a tradition of value since 1902. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Primary Plus is your home for quality, advanced, affordable health care, offering family health, OBGYN, counseling, dental, diabetes management, patient-centered medical homes, school-based health services, and a pharmacy. Primary Plus also offers the COVID-19 vaccine. Primary Plus with locations in Ashland, Vanceburg, South Shore, Grayson, Tollsboro, Maysville, Flemingsburg, and now in Moorhead. Online, primaryplus.net. For quality, advanced, affordable health care, come to Primary Plus. Again, online, primaryplus.net.
You're back with all the action, all the pride. Boyd County Lions football on 105.7 WLGC.
And welcome back to the Boyd County Coaches Show. Greg Preston, Evan Ferguson, again, Jace Manning here with us as well. And, Coach, this week, Mason County, and, over the past 3-4 years, that's become a pretty good rivalry with them.
It really has. I think, we started playing them in 21 was my first year we played, and there was nothing like a rivalry then. We got our tail smacked in that one. We don't want to think about that one. But since then, it's been a 1-point game in 22, and then in 23 we got to play them twice.
Yep. Playoff game.
Yeah, big win for us on the road both times in that year.
Yep.
And then last year, a 3-0 ball game. And
we were in the booth trying to sell it as an offensive battle going in with both teams, and it ends up a 3-0 game.
I would have not taken the under on that one for sure.
No.
But no, Mason County is going to come out and with a new coach this year. Coach Boone is their new coach. I think he's been on staff for the last few years since we've been playing those games, and they do a lot of the same things they've been doing. They they run their odd stack, the 3-3 with their backers super far back that play really aggressive, and it's obviously we scored 3 points last year, so it's given us some fits over the years. So we got to make sure we settle down and execute a little bit better than what we need to do and capitalize when we have a chance to get points. And defensively, though, I will say at the same time we've done a pretty good job defensively on them the last couple of years. The only thing I'll say this year is they're a little bit different. They've been way more of a 4 verticals team. They've like to throw their shots and step back, and they've had some great guys to go get it, and they still have some guys to go get it, but they're a little bit more, I would say, not saying those teams weren't hard-nosed, but they definitely play with a more run-first mentality than they have in the past this year, and I haven't seen them under center before until now, you know, and it's definitely going to be a little bit different approach to how we have to prepare, and I'm glad we definitely got some looks at, while East never went under center, we definitely felt like we was playing a run-first Johnson-style football team.
Right. Well, speaking of going under center, how much of a difference does that make in the preparation you put into it?
I'll say it depends on kind of what they're trying to do out of it. Now, Mason County they're an I team with it. They're going to be, like I said, weak and strong. They're going to set, and it's going to be your ISOs, your toss, wide zone, stretch, and some the kind of the pro style stuff out of it. So it's the similar stuff from gun. I think it gives you a little bit quicker hitting, arguably you could say, and also it allows you to have some play action opportunities is what they're trying to do. You play for a team like Johnson Central who's running the wishbone. It's a completely different. Your rules change a lot. With this, your rules don't change a whole lot because it's the same style plays that we're already playing and facing. It's not a triple an option attack or a reading attack. It's more of a go fit right. And we talked about we need to get better at our run fits, and we got to make sure we do that this week.
And Mason County going down there, that's a little bit of a drive, and it's always a tough place to go down there and play at their place.
It is, and it's I'll say at least this point I don't say it feels like home, but we've been there. I feel like we've been there so much in the last couple of years that when you're going there twice, and it's a very nice place to play. They have a good stadium, and it's a kind of a fun environment to go play in. And I think they've got from film. They got the new lights like we've got. They're going to be flat. I hope we don't see them flash any though this week. It'd be the goal. If it's like last year, they're going to be a good team, and they do a good job. And we just have to make sure that we're trying to assert ourselves. And a lot of times we talk about time of possession and getting our number of plays. Last couple of weeks we didn't do that at all, and we got to make sure we find a way to stay on schedule. I'm okay with scoring quick if we can on offense, obviously, but we got to mentally give our guys a break on defense without be taking a little bit more chances to kind of create our own luck, limit those, and create some explosive plays defensively, getting them off schedule, and we got to make sure we do that this week.
Game planning for these guys, there's a real possibility you could see them again in the postseason. So do you have to game plan differently in this first game and maybe hold some stuff back so that they don't have a look at at everything that you do?
I won't say that it's necessarily, for them per se. I think you always evolve your team as the year goes a little bit. At least we make sure we kind of build off of our playbook, what we do. And but at the same time, we know we got to win the games we got to win. And I'm just concerned with this Friday night right now. Right. And we got to make sure that whatever it takes, we'll put whatever stops we have to do to go get this win. They're going to spread it around. I mean, a little bit to the outside, but they're going to come right at us. And it's just been in my head a lot last couple of weeks about getting better at stopping the run. Now we did that against Rock Hill and a really good football team that could run at us, but it didn't work last week. So we'll see how it goes. But thinking about Mason County, like we looked about it a lot. They're just 1-2 right now, and they dropped their first two. And I think as kids, players and fans, we look at it and be like, oh, are they not what they've been the last couple of years? I thought they'd still be what they have been. And talk about the bad luck. They looked like us the first minute, on having some bad luck scenarios happen in the first 2 weeks. A lot of turnovers. I think I don't want to say they deserve to win those games because you turn the ball over, you never deserve to win a game. But I think they're a really good football team that could very easily be 3-0 right now, just as easy as they are 1-2. And that's whenever it's like that, we know we have to capitalize on our opportunities and those keys to the game that I say that sound boring every week. And we laugh about it because what's keys to the game? Well, take care of the football, no stupid penalties. We take that.
But that's football.
It's going to be true from when the game started back whenever to now until the end of time. It's always going to be. It's going to matter. Take care of the football. Don't commit stupid penalties. Don't be behind the chains. And if you do that, you have a good chance of winning. So we got to make sure we do that this week. And we kind of have to hope a little bit they go back to what happened in the first 2 weeks, but I think they've done a good job of cleaning that stuff up, and they're going to be hard to beat, but we got to come ready to play.
And generally speaking, at least since you've been here, and I've been doing the games again with when you picked up the opponent of Mason County, they've always been good on the perimeter.
Yes, there's some speed out there for sure. They have some guys that – Mason County has athletes, and they have, and they probably always will too. But it's made us hard to kind of get the edge sometimes. And I think a little bit that's how they scheme their stack. We've kind of sometimes we get a little. I just say we get confused with our rules a little bit, and we kind of might get locked onto a guy. It's just human nature to naturally try to block the person across from you sometimes, and we've kind of got confused a little bit on some stuff where they'll stunt, and we got to shore that stuff up. And last year that first drive, we go down and had a hold call that cost us a touchdown. Then we had a couple more that last year. That game's probably not 3-0 if it wasn't for that.
Right.
I had turnovers. They had a turnover in the red zone. We had a turnover in the red zone, and that game changes a lot if one team starts rolling. We played them last year. It was in 23. The first game, it was 24 to 20 in the fourth quarter, and ended up getting to beat them 44 to 20. So it can change quickly, and we can score fast, and we've been doing that last couple of years, and we still can score fast. And whenever we have the opportunity to get rolling, we got to do it on both sides of the football. And special teams wise, we've done a pretty good job of improving there and doing some good things, but we got to make sure we don't have an opportunity of an onside. We almost gave up an extra possession by not fielding a kick last week, and things like that. Just you can't do it to if you're going to win and be a good football team, we got to always find a way to endure and persevere and find a way to win.
And sometimes it seems like up in the booth we're saying our defense has been on the field a lot, but if we're going to be real about it, a lot of that has to do with because our offense scores so quickly.
Yeah, and you're exactly right. We've when we score, at least so far this year, it's been quick hitting plays for the most part. We haven't had, with the exception of the third touchdown against Mason, they've kind of all been quick hitting drives and go score and okay, let's go play again. And we've had given up one of them plays last week. It was a 21 play drive that they scored on, and then we've had 15 play drives and 16 play drives, and that's not really a knock on anything we're doing defensively. I think that's kind of hats off to the offense for not making mistakes, because it's how do you do that without getting a hold sometimes, and I think that makes it really hard to run those that many plays on a drive and get the job done. So usually the odds are in your favor if you can bend but not break, that you're going to end up stopping. And I think that's kind of what's happened with Mason for the last couple of years. Is a lot of times they've driven the ball on us a lot, actually, last couple of years, and got from 20 to 20 relatively easily. But we've had a good red zone defense of tying it up. And I go back. I think I'm going back to 23 a lot, because I feel a lot of the same way how we got beat by East that week 3 that year, and in a very similar game. And sometimes I may want to start taking more chances and sending different pressures and maybe changing fronts a little bit more and changing our defense. And really, we just got to get better at who we are. And we got to play Boyd County defense, and we got to step up and make sure we all fit, because there's nothing schematically wrong with that. And we got to make sure we just do our job well and do it with passion, that we can't just, we'll step up in the red zone, we'll step up here. We got to step up on every play and swarm to the football and get the job done, and make it 2nd and 10 or 2nd and 9 when they run the football, instead of 2nd and 6 and then 3rd and 2 and then so forth. We got to make sure we get those jobs done, keep people off schedule, and pick up that intensity there, and realize that we talk about money down might be third down, and the third down gets a lot of credit. Every coach, we got to do better on third downs, but we do, but your first and second makes a big difference on what happens on third down. So we got to do a better job on first and second down as well, so we can make third down a little bit easier for us.
Let's go ahead, step out, take our third break of the evening. When we come back, we'll talk a little bit more about Friday night's matchup. Back after this on 105.7 FM WLGC.
No down payment? No problem. Here at KFB, we make homeownership easy with our no down payment home loans. Whether you're buying your first home or ready for something new, KFB is here to guide you every step of the way. Apply today and take the first step towards your dream home with no money down. Restrictions apply. Not all applicants will qualify. KFB, the better bank, located at Ashland, Catlettsburg, Louisa, Summit, and Wheelersburg. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Temperatures are on the rise, and so is the bite, and Border Sporting Goods is your fishing headquarters for rods and reels from G. Loomis, St. Croix, Fenwick, Lewes, Shimano, Daiwa, and Abu Garcia. No matter what species of fish you are targeting, Borders has the perfect setup to make your next trip on the water a success. Borders has baits in every size and style with a wide selection of tackle from Berkley, Strike King, Zoom, Z-Man, Bandit, and many more. Before hitting the water for your next fishing trip, stop by and stock up at Border Sporting Goods, US 60 West in Ashland.
If you can picture yourself in a better job and a better life, there are thousands of openings in Kentucky right now. And with the Work Ready Kentucky Scholarship, you can prepare for many of them tuition-free. Good at Ashland Community and Technical College. This scholarship offers 100% free tuition for classes that can prepare you for a great job in healthcare, advanced manufacturing, and more in as little as 13 weeks. Get started today at WorkReadyKentucky.com.
Since Nice Choice Credit Union, member NCUA.
You're back with all the action, all the pride. Boyd County Lions football on 105.7 WLGC.
And welcome back to the Boyd County Coaches Show. And Coach Ferg, since 21, since this rivalry has renewed, seems like we've had a lot of quarterbacks who can sling the football around.
Yeah, they've been able to do a really good job. The Thomas kid there had a lot of yards. And was it Route last year? 7? Yeah, I mean, I told you before, when I remember who you are, you've been doing a lot of things to us for the last couple of years. So we've played them a lot and had to scheme a lot for what we do to play them, especially when you get them in the playoffs. You remember a lot about them. And they've had a lot of guys outside too. And that list goes a lot longer than the quarterback list for them. They've had guys to throw it up to, and they really based a lot on kind of doing, the bubble go stuff. They ran a lot of just standing forwards, and you could almost guarantee with Mason for the last couple of years, first play of the game would have been a trick play on at least the film before we watched them. It seemed like every time they had some type of trick play to kind of get their season, to get the year going. And hasn't been quite as much trickeration from what I've seen this year, but we need to make sure we're ready for that going into Friday's game. But they're going to be, this kid this year for them at quarterback does a great job of kind of managing the offense, and he just seems old school enough to where I think if he had the chance to either run over you or go to bounds, I think he'd definitely run over you. And I respect guys like that a lot. And that's kind of, I think, a little bit more their mentality this year. Is they want to go right at you a little bit more than try to be cute outside. Now, those guys are still at Mason County. They can get outside and do some, they can run their screens, they can run their go routes, and they can make some big plays up in the air. But we got to make sure that we do our job and stop the run first. And that's going to be, I feel like I'm going to sound like a broken record right now saying that, but we have to make sure we stop the run this week.
Right. And speaking of them running the ball, I mean, they've run the ball 119 times and they've thrown it 39. So that's that seems to be the direction they're heading this year. And we've got a guy that can still sling it around.
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't tell you what our stats are, but I feel like we've definitely, I don't know if we've ran it that many times as far as those passing attempts. I think we only probably run it 30 or 40 total. But
we've run it 65 and we have thrown it 64.
Some would say that's really close to that 50-50 number.
Mm-hmm. Seems like a lot more, though, doesn't it?
It was probably Jay scrambling why we didn't get one of them. But no, I do try to be balanced, and I think the game in 2025 is different. It's the same, and you still have to run the football and stop the run. You still have to be able to do that, and we definitely going to improve there. But it can be pretty fun when we can spread around. There's all the RPOs and different things nowadays, and our kid across from us really enjoys doing throwing the football, and he likes reading a little bit on some of those snag RPOs. I think he really enjoys that. Jace, would you say that's your favorite thing to do?
Snag routes all the time, huh? Yeah. All right.
Wow.
We'll see if we got some of those this weekend.
I don't know. We'll see. Right. I don't know. I'll probably not do it because there are three backers standing there. They got all three go. We're going to be throwing it right into it. So it might not be a lot of that this week. So, Jay's prepare for not getting to do your favorite thing.
There's other things I like to do.
But no.
Favorite thing's getting the win, right?
Oh, yeah.
And that's what we have to make sure we can do. We can spread it around. There's a lot of guys that can go get it, and we've talked about them a lot on this show. And playing simple with Mason County, I think they've got a really big left tackle that seems to be a big player for them. And they're 16, they're Mike linebacker and tailback, and 3's another running back. 3 had a little club on his hand last week, but still was able to run the football with it. So.
Right.
Definitely is a kid that can make some plays and seem pretty fast. I mean, you always tell film, and they played Montgomery, common opponent there that we scrimmaged, and Montgomery got the best of them, but it was really a tooth and nail game, and I think Montgomery gave us some fits in our scrimmage as well. We got to make sure that it's going to be a dogfight, and we got to be ready to go.
And you talk about in high school football, you still got to be able to run the football, and you take a look at least by the numbers. Most of the time in high school football, the team that wins the rushing battle is going to win the football game.
It's almost every time,
Yep.
And I think, and the game is designed for that because most of the time we're getting 5-man crews as well, and in officiating, and then definitely not ever blaming on the officials, but if you watch, Monday Night Football, Sunday night, you watch the NFL on Sundays, you watch college on Saturdays, I couldn't imagine trying to play DB at that level because they call every minor hold, or PI like crazy. And that's not a slight or any bit at all of a jab to our officials. But we're asking our side judges to spot the football, watch for alignments outside, and then have the angle to see what happens on the back end of the play, and then go down there and make sure it's, there's a lot on those guys and those wings. And by not having the 7-man crews and stuff, it really makes the job hard on our officials. And in a way, it allows a lot of high school football to where if you're aggressive outside, you can get away with a little bit of pushing and pulling on the outside. And, I'm definitely never telling our guys we need to, cheat or be aggressive, but at the same time, you got to be aggressive. I always say we need to be aggressive, and you go play because and that also tells an offense, don't complain, don't look for a call, go make the play. And and that's why I think, but whenever you can control the clock and control the game, it makes life so much easier whenever you know you can run it and get the 2nd and 6th second for whatever you need to do. And I think overall, almost got sidetracked there. I started talking about officials, and it got me on. I'm not yelling that much, but overall, we kind of try to set a goal of us. I think you have over 400 yards in a night, which I forgot what we had last week. It wasn't 4; it was 3 something, I believe. Usually, we try to say our goal is over 400 a game, and usually for us that means if we've run it for 150 and thrown for about 250, that would be a perfect world.
Right.
And when we do that with our offense, we're moving the ball well and we're being successful. I'll definitely take running for 400, and I would never even think twice. If we could run it for 200, it's going to be a really good night. But whenever we're if we can get that rushing total up and we can control the inside, and whenever we can start making people assert themselves and make the box get a little bit crowded, I really like our chances outside. We have several guys that can just go win. And I think as the year goes, you're going to see more and more opportunities. Oh, excuse me, I got choked up there. But more opportunities of our guys going and winning one-on-one battles if we can continue to increase what we're doing, running the football. We've done a lot better job in already. I think this year running the football since about the 4th quarter of Gallia. We really picked up the pace. Had a great week at Rock Hill, and with the lack of it was mainly due to time constraints why we didn't get a lot of it against East. It wasn't necessarily that we were getting stopped running the football. It was more so we had to hurry and go, and we almost had to stay. So we had 2 possessions in the second half, and we tried to maximize getting them in and out as fast as we could so we could try to get a third. So it really comes down to, but shows you the power of what East had by being able to run it and getting 3 and 4 a chunk of time or more. And we just got to come ready to play and hopefully tighten down those gaps.
Yep. Coach, how are we health-wise going into the 4th week of the year? I know you got your normal bumps and bruises, but everybody doing okay health-wise?
You got some bumps and bruises along the way. I think some guys are hopefully coming back around a little bit right now, and that's why we try to make sure, we lifted today. Even got to see our quarterback across from me lift a little bit. He absolutely loves the weight room, in case anybody – he's getting there, though. And we got to get our workout in on, this week, and had some guys come in and lift on their own this weekend, which kind of shows the caliber of kids we're dealing with, that they want to win. And there's no doubt to me when I look at our kids on, that they're going to want to win this game Friday night. They're going to give everything they have. So I think, toughness goes a long way. You don't play this game without some bumps and bruises. If you do, you're doing something wrong.
Right.
And we definitely never want to see a kid get banged up. But that toughness of building character throughout your life, of knowing when to fight whenever your back's against the wall, it goes a long way. And, those guys that will just fight, scratch, and claw no matter, whatever's happening, those guys usually make it down the road too. So I really hope to see us continue to stay healthy. I always pray for it every single week, and that's the number one thing. And for both sides, I just always pray everybody that plays the game gets to go play it again the next week. But we talk about how it's a beautiful game. It's an ugly game whenever that can be taken from somebody in a heartbeat, and you never know when that moment can be. So we preach play every play like your last, and you never know when that can come. But you got to go out and play with clear eyes and get the job done and just absolutely love the game. And if you do that, a lot of times you'll come out on top.
Let's go ahead, step out, take our final break. When we come back, we'll close things out. Back after this on 105.7 FM WLGC.
Temperatures are on the rise, and so is the bite, and Border Sporting Goods is your fishing headquarters for rods and reels from G. Loomis, St. Croix, Fenwick, Lewes, Shimano, Daiwa, and Abu Garcia. No matter what species of fish you are targeting, Borders has the perfect setup to make your next trip on the water a success. Borders has baits in every size and style with a wide selection of tackle from Berkley, Strike King, Zoom, Z-Man, Bandit, and many more. Before hitting the water for your next fishing trip, stop by and stock up at Border Sporting Goods, US 60 West in Ashland.
If you can picture yourself in a better job and a better life, there are thousands of openings in Kentucky right now. And with the Work Ready Kentucky Scholarship, you can prepare for many of them tuition-free. Good at Ashland Community and Technical College. This scholarship offers 100% free tuition for classes that can prepare you for a great job in healthcare, advanced manufacturing, and more in as little as 13 weeks. Get started today at workreadykentucky.com.
Hi, I'm Kevin Anderson with First National Bank in Moorhead. From home, auto, and construction financing to refinancing options, we've got the tools to help move you forward. We also offer checking, savings, and full business banking solutions built to support you and your goals. Stop in to see us and let's talk about how we can help you. First National Bank, a tradition of value since 1902. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Primary Plus is your home for quality, advanced, affordable health care, offering family health, OBGYN, counseling, dental, diabetes management, patient-centered medical homes, school-based health services, and a pharmacy. Primary Plus also offers the COVID-19 vaccine. Primary Plus with locations in Ashland, Vanceburg, South Shore, Grayson, Tollsboro, Maysville, Flemingsburg, and now in Moorhead. Online, primaryplus.net. For quality, advanced, affordable health care, come to Primary Plus. Again, online, primaryplus.net.
You're back with all the action, all the pride. Boyd County Lions football on 105.7 WLGC.
And welcome back to the Boyd County Coaches Show. Greg Preston and Boyd County head coach Evan Ferguson with you here again. Tonight we had Jace Manning in, and we're about to close things out here. What we got, Dwayne, about 2 minutes left or so? About 2 minutes left. So, Coach, any final words about this Friday night's game against Mason County?
Come out and support, guys. I know you'll check it out by listening to Coach Preston and Coach Fraley on the air if you can't be there. But we've traveled really well, I think, the first 2 weeks,
absolutely.
and I was really excited to see what we had at home. It made me. I just don't want that to be I know it won't be a fluke, but it really means a lot that the program, the direction we're going. I think our kids got to make sure we go put on a show, and it's an opportunity we only get 10 times guaranteed, and we just talked about the last part before the break about how guaranteed doesn't always mean guaranteed. So we have an opportunity Friday night to go play football and go take our county of Boyd and go beat Mason County, and that's what we need to go try to do on Friday night. No matter what happens, it's going to be a great environment, I'm sure, on the road, and we got to stay together and get the job done.
And I got a text from our guy who runs the station here, Jason Toy, a little bit ago about, we've been talking about getting questions here, text in to us. Hopefully we'll have this in next week and be able to do that. But we appreciate everybody that's out there, our sponsors, and everybody that listens here as well. But, Coach, I tell you what, this has been a fun show to have.
Yeah, I like getting the kids on. Jace, hope you enjoyed coming on tonight, and you're doing it. Well, good. I'm excited to have you part of the program. You're doing some great things, and we have a lot of guys working hard to be successful.
Until next week, good night, everybody.
Broadcasting from the Southern Ohio.
No, you're good.
This is 105.7 Hank FM. Greenup, Ashland, Portsmouth, USA. A Total Media Group station.